Welcome everyone. I see that there are already some people. Hi, I'm connected to the chat. So let me show you a little from where I am right now. And hopefully you can all see and hear where I am right now. I'm focusing on some sunflowers. Hi Beth, welcome. There's some kids also here in the field, so not the only one. Hi Tariq, welcome in the Netherlands. Welcome back in the Netherlands. And hi Beth, hi Trisha, hi Adrian, all the way from Boston. Boston, I think you mean, Adrian. That's a long way from here, so good morning. Good morning. Yeah, we're in between the sunflowers. So the tour didn't start yet, so Dahlias will come, don't worry. Don't worry. But I'm now in a sunflower field, so, and it is a very sunny day, as you can maybe see. So it's the best moment to also show you some sunflowers. And although it's already end of the season, hi Valerie, welcome Paula, welcome in the Netherlands again. And look how beautiful it is. These colors. And I'm not using any filter. I'm not using any filter. This is just the colors. That's just the colors that are here right now in the fields. Oh, as you can see, a windy day. And these sunflowers are so strong they can handle it. They can handle this. So, but yeah, it is a beautiful day. Indian summer, I would almost say. It is about 20 degrees Celsius. I never know that in Fahrenheit, so I'm not so good in maths. Hi, Laura. Also, welcome. Welcome in a field full of sunflowers in the Netherlands from different heights, by the way. You can also see that sunflowers can be quite tall. Welcome, Natalie. Uh, and Bev is already asking, do they leave it for the birds? I mean, I think they're leaving them over here, but at this moment, I mainly see bees. So the bees really love them. So I see a lot of bees over here in between the sunflowers. Yeah, it is a nice sky. It is a nice day. It is very sunny, above 20 degrees. That's quite warm for this time of the year. And the sunflowers really love it. Later on, I will have some better views, but it's still the pre-tour, so we'll come there later on. And of course, welcome everyone. And Valerie, why did they grow the sunflower? I'm here in a garden, a so-called a show garden mainly of dahlias, but they also have a little field of sunflowers because sunflowers can grow also in the Netherlands. I mean, it is not the ideal temperature, although because of climate change, it's getting better and better over here. But I just want to show you some other flowers that are related to the dahlia. And the dahlia is family of the sunflower, as you maybe know. And I said already, there are so many bees. Look at over here. So this little bee over here is sitting on the blooming sunflower. So it is already end of the season. So some of them are already almost gone, but a lot of them are also still in a beautiful state. There's the one over here. I'm excited to take you around. It will be a little different from the tour that I had in the originally planned. And the reason is that when I'm going somewhere, and this is about 40 minutes away from Amsterdam, when I'm going somewhere, I always try to combine it. And as you maybe know, I'm also doing private tours with my company. So there are several guides, and some of them are doing Dahlia tours. And I thought, like, okay, I haven't been in this show garden myself, so maybe go there to take some pictures, to make some short videos for some more promotional material because I've only been here in springtime when it's full of tulips. So, and now it's full of dahlias and some sunflowers. And when I came here, I thought like, oh, this is quite cool. And this is a new location, so maybe it's better to do my tour over here and not do it at the Keukenhof Castle because I've been there already. So to have a good variation, and there are even more variations over here, more variations, more types of the dahlia. So we will see a lot next to the sunflowers. So this is just a pre-tour to show you some other flowers that we have over here too. So wow, it's amazing, isn't it? Look how beautiful they are. And when you think about the sunflower, I'm always thinking about a flower that looks a little like the sun with yellow. But if you're thinking of, or if that's what I'm thinking about it, but actually, a sunflower, of course, there are yellow ones. I have over here a really beautiful one, I think. So look really like how you think about the sunflower, but there are also a lot in other colors, orange, red, even purple. So it is not only in yellow, and they show here some of the variations, some of the color variations. So, um, and hello, Budapest personal guide. Welcome. And sorry if I just came on your screen out of nowhere. Uh, and Budapest personal guide, are you? What is this? Susie or maybe someone else? Yeah, Susie. Okay. I didn't know. I don't know your YouTube name, but of course, welcome. If you love flowers, you of course you can stay. I will start this tour in about 7 minutes from now, so it's still also the moment to say hi to everyone. And if I didn't say hi to you, I'm sorry for that. It is very sunny, so I'm always the whole time thinking, should I wear my sunglasses or not? I'm gonna do that when the actual tour starts, at least. Now look at this color variation over here of the sunflower. Wow. I said already, almost purple. This one is almost purple. And then over here, uh, first time I use YouTube. Welcome in the world of YouTube. This is how it works. You're getting a notification. Someone is live, and before you know, you're getting into the rabbit hole of the YouTube algorithm. So, and then, yeah, it's good to start with the flower tour, isn't it? So, very welcome. And I hope you're doing okay. Um, and had a good season. Because of course, for a lot of the European guides, it's now end of season. The summer is ending, so we prepare for winter time. So I think also here in the Netherlands, or here where I am right now, it's one of the last weekends that is such beautiful weather. Oh, look at this! Look how amazing this is! Wow. And I am, by the way, in not so far away from the sea. That's also why it's a little windy over here. In the local government, it's very nearby the municipality of Lisse. But actually, if you're looking at the address, this is Noordwijk. And Noordwijk is one of these coastal towns that we have in the Netherlands. I will tell you a little more about that later. You can see here at the end, hopefully you can still hear me well because it is getting a little more windy. And we are here in between the sunflowers. I'm just gonna do a little the view. You maybe know already how I'm calling this. This is the bee view. This is like how bees are seeing this field when they are going for the next sunflower in this case. It's amazing to be here. I'm feeling like that I'm somewhere in France, and to be honest, I'm not. I'm just in the Netherlands. Just in the Netherlands in Noordwijk. North neighborhood. Is it called Noordwijk, North neighborhood? And yeah, of course, if you're going a little more to the south, in France, you have a lot more of these fields full of sunflowers. We have a lot less in the Netherlands, but as you can see, nowadays our climate is good enough. It's good enough even to grow sunflowers. So here we have another beautiful one. Oh, just checking the time in the meantime. Oh, I still have 4 minutes. 4 minutes, and then we're officially starting this tour. So waiting for people that will maybe just join in the coming minutes, and then we're really gonna start. I'm gonna tell where I am, what we're gonna see, and of course a lot about dahlias, because that is the main focus of the tour of today. So we have over here another. Hopefully you can see it well. The interesting thing is that my phone is automatically focusing then on a flower, and then the rest is not so sharp anymore around. And here we have a beautiful real sunflower. Look at this. A little lower, so less windy over there. And good morning, of course, Adriana, and to a lot of other people. I know that for some of you at the other side of the pond, it is early morning. For me, it's already the end of the day. 4 o'clock, almost 4 o'clock now. So, on one of the last summer days, I think. Although officially it's already autumn, but it feels like summer. I'm walking here in my t-shirt, so that's always are the good moments. And soon I will think back about this day as one of these last days, and then I have to survive 5 months, 5 months of colder weather, of a lot of rain, maybe some little snow, some ice, and everything. That's also. And hi, Rebecca. Welcome. Welcome in the Netherlands too. Um, but yeah, that is when you live in the Netherlands, that is life. That's how it is over here. There's not a lot we can do about that. Although I'm not unhappy because maybe some of you have seen it on my channel, but I'm gonna travel a little in the coming 1.5, almost 2 weeks. I will be first about a week in Barcelona, back in Barcelona. And hi, Laurie, also welcome. I will be back in Barcelona. We'll do some tours from over there. It is for work. And then the week after, I will go a little north from Barcelona. So I'm going over the border to France, and then we'll visit the city of Montpellier. Montpellier on the Côte d'Azur. And to be honest, I have never been there before, so it is for me one of the first times. No, the first time that I'm in Montpellier. And Carla, welcome also. I will maybe see Pepus. I sent him a message just yesterday, and let's see. Maybe we can do a tour together if he's still into this. We will see. I think it's almost time to start, so I'm gonna change the screen for a moment. One moment. Wait, it's good. I'm gonna show you myself because it's time to start now. I'm just gonna wear my sunglasses because the weather is too beautiful today. Welcome everyone. Welcome in the Netherlands. That's where we are right now. My name is Stephan. It is sunny in the Netherlands. That's a unique fact. That's not happening too many times, but today it is one of these days. One of these days that we're feeling so lucky over here. I'm a guide in the Netherlands and also in Belgium sometimes. So and also sometimes in other countries. Where we're just talking about going to Barcelona in Spain and Montpellier in France in the coming 2 weeks. But first today, it is time for my Sunday stroll every week, exactly at this time, 4 p.m. my time. That can be, of course, other times that you are part of the world. I will do a walk through a park, into a flower garden, into a walk around statues. It can be anything, but at least every Sunday on another location. Sometimes or most of the times in the Netherlands, but also in other parts of Europe. So, um, And welcome also Margaret and Rosie. Welcome. So just at the start of this tour. And for today, I am about 40 minutes west, a little southwest of Amsterdam, in the area that's called in the Dutch Flower region. And originally the plan was to go to the Keukenhof Castle, nearby the Keukenhof tulip gardens, or famous for tulip gardens, where there are dahlias planted. But when I was going here, I thought like, okay, I also have to find out because I'm sometimes doing private tours. I haven't done it myself, but some guys working for me that have been doing private tours, and they're gonna visit the Keukenhof Castle with the dahlias, and then also going to a beautiful place with a show garden where they show a lot of dahlias. And I was thinking I have to go there because I haven't been there myself. So I came here about 1.5 hours ago, and then I thought like, okay, I think I have to change my plans because it is impressive. It's a lot more impressive than I expected. So I decided, okay, let's change it a little. We're still gonna do uh, some uh, some dahlias, a lot of dahlias, even more than there are nearby the Keukenhof. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell, of course, a little more about the dahlias. And next to that, there's also over here a little piece of the field that they're using for sunflowers. So we're also going to see some sunflowers. It's a sunny day, so it fits perfectly. So I'm going to change the screen, and then we're getting into the flower fields. One moment. And yeah, we are nearby Noordwijk. That's how it's called over here. Not so far away from the Dutch seaside. And that's also the reason why you will see over here that it can be a little windy. The more nearby the sea that you're coming, the more windy it gets. And we see over here, I can just show you in the middle. So the sun is now from behind, and I'm standing just in between uh, a field full of sunflowers. I have to admit that it's already a little the end of the season for the sunflower because they are most beautiful midsummer. So somewhere at the start of August, between 1 and August 1st and August 15th, but it's now October the 1st. It's still beautiful. It has been really wonderful weather the last month, so they're still in a very good shape, and we can see a lot of them over here. And one of the nice things of the uh, sunflower, or the helianthus, and named after the sun also in Latin, is the nice one of the nice things is that you have sunflowers from about 1 meter, about 3 feet, until 9 feet. So you can see several ones over here. And Catherine, no, you're not late. I just started. I just started. You only missed the pre-tour, but don't worry. There's enough time to see all these beautiful flowers over here. So there are several heights of the sunflowers. That's one of the things, and also several colors. Because if you think about the sunflower, you think about that really yellow variation. But as you can see over here, this one is yellow in combination with, yeah, what is it? Deep red, some orange, and here on the side, it's a little in the shade of the other flower. Maybe I can remove it a little. There's even a purple one. So they are in different variations, and they're of course wonderful flowers. Not originally, by the way, from the Netherlands. Not even originally from, um, uh, sorry, not even originally from Europe, because the sunflowers originally from North America and Latin America. So North America, Mexico, and a little more south, that is where the sunflower is originally coming from. Already cultivated for about 4,000 years, but of course not by Europeans. That was with the original people that were living in these areas, and they were using the sunflower a lot for all kinds of things because it is edible. It's edible, not only what we now still, of course, use the seeds, um, but also all the other parts, the leaves, the stems, everything is edible from the sunflower. So, where nowadays, if you're going to the US, and of course I'm not living there, but I think that at this moment, that the thing that is mostly eaten is corn, But if you would have gone 1,000 years back, then most people were eating pieces of the sunflower. So that's just a little history of this flower. And then the interesting thing is, I'm just going to use this one as an example. If you're going to the heart of the sunflower, then basically you have there under there the seeds. But basically the heart of the sunflower is built up from all kinds of little flowers working together. It's a sort of a conference. We have a conference over here in the middle. Oh, sorry, in the middle, because all of these little on top of the seeds, you have a little flower that is blooming. So it is not one flower, but if you really look at it, and we can maybe see it with this one a little better. I don't know if you can see it very well now. I think you can. My screen is very small, but here you can see that there are all kind of little blooms together, all kind of little flowers together, blooming together. They're working together to attract bees, to make sure that they will survive. And over here we have, of course, a bee sitting on this sunflower over here. And yeah, they are quite beautiful. So, and yes, it is not only Gabby are saying like they're consuming flowers, that is true. And it's also with the, not only with the zucchini, also the sunflower is edible. So that is not with a lot of flowers, by the way. I would not recommend you to try to eat roses or tulips or even dahlias, but no, with the sunflower it is possible. So I'm just gonna walk towards the end, and people that are just joining, very welcome. You didn't miss any dahlias because we're still in the sunflower field. Um, but if you're looking at the type of the flower of the sunflower, it is family of the dahlia. So it's not completely something different. It is related to each other. And oh, look at the one over here. I really love them. So different color. Wow, it's amazing to see them over here. So, and I said already before, it feels for me a little like that I'm in France, but it's not. It's just the Netherlands, and in summertime we can grow uh, these flowers over here. So, and even more with climate change, it's getting better and better to grow sunflowers in the Netherlands. But we don't have the fields like you can find them in France, for example. They're just only little fields. And the interesting thing is that the area where I am right now, this is the so-called show garden. A show garden that's called the Tulperij, the Tulperij. So they are focusing on, they were originally focusing on tulips. So that's what their main thing is. But the thing is that in the last 10 to 15 years, the dahlia is becoming more and more popular. So we still don't have a lot of dahlia farmers in the Netherlands compared to the number of tulip farmers, but it is growing bit by bit. More and more people, more and more farmers are starting to grow dahlias. So at this moment, we have about different, 30 different dahlia farmers. While in the Netherlands, we have about 900 tulip farmers. So imagine, that's a lot less, but they are beautiful, becoming more and more popular. And yeah, we have the perfect environment over here. And this is a show garden, so people can just come over here. You can see people sitting also in the sun. It's open from somewhere at the start of August until October 15th. And you can come over here to see the dahlias. And when I'm standing here already in front of a dahlia field, and as you can see, there are not a lot of dahlias anymore. And why is that? Because you can come over here and you pay, I think, €7, and then you can pick as much dahlias as you want. So I think it has been quite popular in the last weeks because I don't see a lot of flowers anymore. But let's go, just going through the people over here. So, okay, so Over here, we are entering the beautiful Dahlia Gardens. And I said it somewhere in my introduction. Why did I come over here and not at the original location? It's because there are so many different variations of the Dahlia over here. So at this moment, there are 600 different ones. 600. And 600, by the way, there's only a fraction of the numbers of dahlias that you can find and that are cultivated. There are thousands and thousands of variations, and over here there are about 600, and basically you can buy about 1,000 different ones worldwide. So 1,000 different ones are used to sell as tubers, but also as for just for the blooms, for in a vase, etc. And look how beautiful it is over here already. I show you already some variations. And what I'm gonna do, as you can see, I'm now walking against the sun. So I'm just gonna walk towards the end and then walking back and tell you a little more about these famous flowers. So, and the interesting thing, by the way, also over here, and that's a good thing. If you see one that you really like, then I can stop. You have to be immediately say like, Stephan, stop this one. I want to know the name because they have the names of all of them next to it. So you can maybe find it. Okay, just going a little to the end. So just to give you already a feeling of what we see over here. It's by the way good to know that I'm not a botanist. I'm not a botanist, but by doing virtual tours, I got more and more knowledge about these flowers, but I've never planted one myself. So it's all from what I was hearing, uh, what other people told me, and what I could find about this flower. So, okay, I'm just now at the end of the field, and just gives you a little idea of how many colors and variations there are. So I'm just going around a little. You see almost every color you can think of. There's one. Uh, there's one interesting thing that uh, that is the same as for the tulip. There's only one color at this moment. There's one color at this moment that we don't have for dahlias, and that's the color blue. That's the color blue. So, but every other color you can think of is available. So I'm here at the end of the field, and let me first tell you. Um, Let me first, while we're having these beautiful, I think lily-shaped dahlia over here. It's one of the variations in a really in the Dutch color, Dutch orange color, by the way. Um, but the dahlia is also originally not coming from the Netherlands. About 200 years ago, the first dahlias came over here, and that was via Spain. And why via Spain? That was because in Spain at that moment still was colonizing big parts of the world. And where did they find these dahlias? At the other side of the pond, a little more south than the sunflower, although part of the area is the same. But you can still find wild dahlias in the mountains of Mexico. So Mexico is the area where this flower is coming from. And of course, the Mexicans already love this flower. So when the Spaniards came into Latin America, came the rulers also in Mexico, they found some of the gardens of the old Aztec kings. And in one of the gardens of Moctezuma, to be precise, they were finding these beautiful flowers. But at that moment, and I'm now talking about the 16th century, um, the Spaniards were, of course, also interested in flowers, but even more in all the other things that you could maybe do with with a dahlia. So they found out that the locals were using the not the blooms, but mainly the stems, but also the tubers for all kind of things. While we're looking here at the Golden Torch Dahlia, a beautiful one. You can maybe imagine why it's called golden. It's quite golden from over here. And let me also show you a little from behind as how the ants are seeing them. So, Mo, but when they were finding it in Moctezuma's garden, they were thinking like, wow, this can be amazing. And the Spaniards were also searching for new types of vegetables. And as you maybe know, the Netherlands, but also several other European countries, were eating a lot of potatoes. But the potato is also a tuber in the end of the potato plant and is not originally coming from Europe. It's even coming from Peru. So it's coming from South America. So what the Spaniards were first thinking, looking at the tubers of the dahlia, they were thinking, oh, this can maybe something nice next to the um, next to the potatoes, so we can maybe eat them. They tried it. They tried to grow them, but to be honest, and I have to say I didn't try, but what people told me is that the tuber of a dahlia, it is edible, but it is not really a nice taste. It's maybe a little better than a bulb of a tulip, but still, you can better eat other things. By the way, the original dahlias were looking a little like the ones that we see over here. They were single ones, single flowers, as this one. Um, and so yeah, so they're originally thinking it's for edible reasons to get them to Europe. Oh, by the way, I see. Wait, look at this. Look at the. This is amazing shot. Please take some postcards of this butterfly on top of the dahlia. The thing is that it's not going so well with butterflies anymore, so I haven't seen a lot this summer. This is really a beautiful one, and look at the eyes. Oh, bye bye. That was it. I think we were lucky. It's just now flying away somewhere else. So okay, let's go back to my story. That's always virtual tours. All kind of things can happen. So you can be a little lucky to have these kind of things. So no, so not to eat, but then so it took a little longer before we started, or before the Spaniards starting exporting, and it started somewhere at the end of the 18th century when people started to love the flowers. So, and they were transporting it to Europe, first to Madrid, and then bit by bit, uh, more and more people started loving them, and especially some of the royals, and even more especially Queen Victoria. And Queen Victoria, she made a dahlia garden herself, and with some of the best cultivars that were made at that moment. And because of the Queen being such a fan of the dahlia, it became more and more popular all over Europe, and more uh, farmers started to grow them. And they also found out that from the original dahlias, I was showing you one before, that you can quite easily with the seeds make new cultivars. So all kind of variations came up, like the one over here that we're calling, by the way, a cactus dahlia. You can maybe imagine a little, and no, Gabby was not the Spanish queen. Queen Victoria was the English queen. But over here, you can maybe imagine why it's called a cactus. So it's almost that uh, that is painful for myself to hold them. So that's just one of the variations, but there are a lot more. And even nowadays, they're still finding out new kind of variations, new colors, new heights, new types of flowers or variations. It is really a beautiful one. And of course, I'm here in some of the fields with a lot of the cactus variations. Yeah, by the way, you have cactus and also semi-cactus. So semi-cactus is almost looking like a cactus, but a little different. Look how beautiful it is over here. Just showing you several of the variations. So, and the interesting thing, by the way, if you have dahlias and grow it yourself, they like it is. It is of course originally a plant from the mountains, from the parts in the world where it's and with the ground that's not very rich. So that's also one of the reasons why it's growing quite well on the sand ground that we have over here. By the way, this is a semi cactus because it's a little less pointy, almost like a normal flower. Um, yeah, so a lot of variations, and it was spreading through Europe. And the dahlia itself is named, by the way, after a botanist, a Swedish botanist named Andreas Dahl, and it's named after him. In some countries, they're still using other names for it, but the majority is now using dahlia for this flower. Look how beautiful these red and white ones are. It's unbelievable. Uh, it's unbelievable how beautiful they are. So you sometimes see a little my shadow. I'm just trying to get out of the shadow, and then over here other there's another beautiful variation, and that this is one of them. Look at the shape of this one. This is almost like a ball. So that's one of the other variations of the dahlia, the ball, or sometimes even pom-pom dahlias. You can also see different heights, getting to another cactus again, a white cactus, and you can also see how big some of these flowers can get. And how they're doing that, by the way, is by, for example, if you have one stem, what they do is they cut away some of the flowers around from the same stem, because normally it is splitting to 4, 5, sometimes even 8 to 10 different flowers on one stem. But if you're cutting away some of the new flowers, then all the energy is going to the main one that's left, and then the main one is even growing and getting bigger. So that's just a trick how to get these enormous flowers of the dahlia. And just to give you an idea, some variations can have flowers up to 30 centimeters. So that's about a feet in total. So a flower is a feet. That's quite big. So over here, just to give you an idea, this one is called the Karma Sangria. Another beautiful one. And the neighbors, just to give you an idea. This is a very interesting one. I think this is maybe a very popular one because this one is called the Karma Red Corona. I don't know if it was karma if you're getting corona. And corona is of course crown, or based on the word crown. And this is the purple corona. So we have the red corona and the purple corona. Most probably these names were already there before anyone in the world had did hear about that terrible disease. And look how beautiful they are. So some amazing ones. Okay, just let's go back to the middle part. So you can see the building at the end, the Tulperij, the flower experience. So in springtime it is over here to show the tulips, and now it's end of summer. They're showing the dahlias, and by the way, on the same ground. So it's exactly the same ground that they're using. So at the moment that the tulips are done. So that means around May 10th to May 15th, that's exactly the moment they're removing the bulbs of the tulips and are planting the little flowers of the dahlia exactly at the same moment. So, and they're growing over here until uh, until October 15th. Then they're removed, and what they're planting back the bulbs of the tulips. And then next spring, the tulips will come up. So it's also a perfect way of using your ground for two different types of flowers. And that's also really good. So, and Paula is asking, do they make new varieties like they do with the tulip? Yes, for sure. For sure, all kinds of new varieties are made every year, and it's taking several years before a new variation is on the market. So one of the reasons why you see over here 600 variations is it's not only for us, it's also for professional gardeners, professional commercial organizations that want to see and want to look for the new variations that they maybe want to start selling and want to start growing to a wider public. So a lot of the variations that we see over here are also made here in the Netherlands, or made, not completely made, of course, but grown here in the Netherlands. And then later on, they will go all over the world if they are strong enough, if they are healthy enough. There are all kind of things that they check before starting to sell them. And also, look again. I love it to see everywhere. Oh, okay, bye bye. There was a bumblebee over there. And you can also imagine a lot of people are coming over here just to be in between the flowers to have some beautiful pictures. And one of the really nice things that I like about the dahlia is that it is different heights. It's different heights. Like, well, with the tulip, I was of course in the springtime here a lot to show you the tulips, and most of the tulips have about the same height, and that is completely different with the dahlia. And talking about big flowers, I have some beautiful examples over here. Another semi-cactus one, and I think this one over here is about 20 centimeters. So not a feet yet, but getting there. Really a big flower, and can also be, look at the ones over here. This is a very interesting one. What does it remind you of? It's almost like a lion or something like that. So you can also see they removed some of the stems, and then to get this enormous, beautiful flower. Wow. So if you want, you can start growing them yourself, and it's not a very hard flower also to make new variations, by the way, compared to, for example, a tulip. Um, and one of the other things that's really preferable from this flower to a tulip, that it's blooming for a very long time. These flowers are blooming from somewhere at the start of August until somewhere half in October. So that is about 2.5 months in total. So 2.5 months, let's say 12 weeks in total, while a tulip, a normal tulip, is only blooming for about 3 weeks, 3 to 12 weeks. So if you're growing them in your garden, then you have flowers for a very long time. So that's a nice thing of this flower. And then over here, these are I think my favorites. I have some variations over here, or some examples of the so-called ball dahlia, and you can see it almost has the shape of a ball, completely, yeah, perfectly. Look how beautiful nature is, that they're designing this kind of flowers for us in this shape. And this is a little pink one, called, by the way, the Wizard of Oz. We just saw the Wizard of Oz, and we're now going to a more lighter, lighter pink, almost white variation. So we see again there a bumblebee or a bee just landing somewhere. And you can also see at the background there are several other ones that are a little higher. That is really the nice thing of these flowers. And then at the other side, just going to the other side, and we have the yellow one. Wow, look how beautiful this is. And there's, I'm just gonna try to, oh, of course, I was getting after a bumblebee, but at that moment it went away. And look, the combination. This is, by the way, called the yellow dawn. This is a dawn, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so originally used to eat, originally also used as a medicine. By the way, the Aztecs were using it as a medicine. There's also an interesting story against epilepsy. So they say that it was a cure. It was curing epilepsy, and next to that, and for that I have to show you a little the stems of the plant. They were also using it. So I'm now going to show you the stem. Look at the stem over here. You can look completely inside, so it's hollow. The stem is completely hollow. It's also why it's such a strong one. It's hollow. Now, this is not a stem, by the way. This one is a stem. It's hollow. So what the Aztecs were doing, they were using it, some of the stems, to capture water. To if they were traveling, they just had some stems with them, filled it with water, and you can imagine the older the plant, the thicker the stem. So it could be quite big, and then they could really get a lot of water with them. And then when they were thinking about medicines, not only they were using it uh, for epilepsy, but also they were thinking, okay, it's hollow, you can have a lot of water, so they were starting to use it for peeing problems by men. So you can maybe imagine older men sometimes have some problems with peeing, and they were thinking, okay, what is a good medicine for that? And they started using the stems of the dahlia because they were thinking, yeah, that's perfect pipelines in this flower, so that should be good, really, also to cure if you have all kind of problems to pee. And look how beautiful this is. This is amazing, isn't it? This is like a postcard. This is a postcard itself, isn't it? Just doing another, as I'm calling it, ant view or bee view. Oh, this is more the position of the ant, how they're looking at these beautiful flowers. The sky is amazing. And I think I now showed you maybe 30 different variations, maybe 50. There's 600 over here, so 600 different ones in almost every color you can think of. By the way, I said it already before, we're um, still searching for the blue one. So most flowers, or for a lot of flowers, it is not possible to have a blue variation. So, but maybe one day they will find, and if someone will find a blue tulip or blue dahlia, then you will be millionaire for sure, because that's unique. And then one of the other things, by the way, for a dahlia, what they also still searching for one with a fragrance, because as beautiful as they are, you don't smell anything over here. So while the one over here is called the sheer heaven, yeah, it is a heavenly flower, but it's not smelling. You don't smell anything. So even a tulip is smelling more than a dahlia. So that's one of the other things. Is one day if you're finding a blue one with a fragrance, that would be the best. Look how beautiful this is. Again, this is, by the way, a little more the variation that's looking a little like a water lily. So you can imagine the water lilies that you can find on some ponds, uh, some waters that you. This is a little like the variation over here. Oh, it's good to hear that you have a lot of postcards. Look how beautiful this is. It's amazing, isn't it? So a lot of people are also coming over here just to take pictures with themselves or for their marriage or to have honeymoon pictures or coming here with kids to. They have also a lot of education about the flower. Okay, the one over here It's also a nice one. So just a little against the sun now. So that's a little harder to make it sharp. But this one is called Senior's Hope. So this is the Senior's Hope one. Let me just get you here, the one on the side. Wow, really beautiful, deep purple. And yes, thank you for sharing that link. If you um, if you like this tour, you can help me so I can keep on doing them. Flower tours, but also all kind of others. A lot of you are helping me with some tips now and then, and that I'm really grateful for that. Really grateful because it helps me so I can keep on traveling all over the Netherlands and Belgium to show you flowers and a lot more. And Cheryl, there are all kinds of ways how you can use also YouTube with taking postcards. So it's a little hard for me to show that over here, but I can reshare that again in my Facebook group in the coming days. So if you're going there, I can share that. So and yes, there's also a way if you like these tours, then you can become a member via Buy Me a Coffee, and then you can see all my tours, not only the first 12 hours, but later on too. So all the old tours in the tulip fields, but also a lot of other ones are available over there. So, and thank you for sharing the link to my Facebook group. And look, I cannot get enough of it. I don't know how it is with all of you, but for me, every time I'm thinking, this is my favorite, and then I'm seeing another one, oh, this is also my favorite. So I thought I made a decision, but no, no, I'm confused completely. Completely confused. There are too many beautiful ones over here. So, oh, look at this. Look at this. I also really like these bigger yellow ones. Wow. Yellow, white. I see some orange in it. It is a nice combination of colors. So, yeah. So the Netherlands used to be traditionally the land of the tulip, but more and more farmers are also starting to grow dahlias. So, and this is just one of the show gardens to show all the options, all the possibilities. And by the way, if you think like, okay, I want to have some of these dahlias in my garden. So, of course, you have to check if it can grow in your climate. If it is a little bit climate like in the Netherlands, then it can work. But it is very important that this is not the time to buy the bulbs. Wow. Uh, this is the time, it is now October. This is the best time if you want to grow tulips. Now is the time to buy the bulbs. To buy the bulbs, but the tubers of the dahlia, don't buy them right now. It's not the right time. When it is tulip time, it is time to buy the bulbs of the dahlia and the other way around. So when the dahlia is at the end of the blooming, it's time to buy your tulip bulbs and the other way around. So because a lot of people, they're coming to the Netherlands seeing this and thinking, I want dahlias in this part of the year, and in springtime they're thinking, oh, I want tulips, but it is both not the good time. And of course you can buy them, but for sure it is a very low quality, and there's a very big chance that if you at this moment buying some tubers to grow dahlias in your own garden, that they will never grow because they're old. They're a season old or half a season old, and that means most of the time they are already dead. Wow, amazing, isn't it? It's also even more beautiful, I think, with the end of the day, that the colors are even richer right now. Oh, I see some people taking selfies. This, of course, also with the show garden. We have another bee over there. I'm happy to see so many bees because not only with butterflies, also with bees is not going very well the last years anymore. Mainly because of the usage of a lot of pesticides on farmlands and also, by the way, to grow flowers. So the good thing is that in the last years, more and more of the farmers are starting to work ecological, but still a lot of them don't, and that is killing the bees. That's in the end killing the bees. Oh, look at the ones over here. Another favorite. Another favorite. Are you all still awake? Just enjoying, hopefully, all the colors. Let me do another one with the sky. Have to be a little careful. Wow. And yeah, it is good to know. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing that. Later today, I will do another tour. I will go back to the city of Leiden. That is the city where I studied. The city, the birthplace of Rembrandt van Rijn, and also from a lot of other really beautiful old city. And I will go there in about 3 hours from now. It's not so far away from where we are right now, so I thought it's a good combination to combine with this Sunday stroll. And Adrian, I love to hear, yeah, everyone is focusing on taking pictures. I can also imagine that. Another beautiful one called the Joey Huberts. Joey Huberts with a nice combination of yellow and red. Wow, they're also so beautiful. Wow. And also, yeah, if you look at the shape of some of these, like the one over here, thinking about Fibonacci immediately when I'm seeing this. Going round in circles, going to the center. Wow. Okay. So I'm almost at the end of the garden. You're also almost closing because that's also what I'm always trying to do. At the end of the day over here, then it's morning in the US. So also the other side of the world can see this tour live. Of course, if you are a member, then you can always see all the tours also later, but then you cannot be interactive anymore, of course. And Betty, you're not the only one. I can completely imagine that. And I have to admit that for a very long time, while we're looking over here, by the way, also it's nice to see the church there at the end. So it is farmland over here, very sandy farmland because we're nearby the sea. So it used to be the dunes over here in this area. Um, so it is the perfect ground, sand ground is perfect ground to grow everything. So yeah, but for me it's also really hard to pick a favorite. And what I wanted to tell is, for a very long time, I was always thinking with dahlias. I was thinking about my grandma. My grandma loved dahlias, and I was really, yeah, it's a flower. It's a flower for old people. And maybe I'm now a little older myself, but when I started seeing more and more of the dahlias, I fell in love with it. So I knew already how beautiful the tulip was, but Dahlia was new for me, or new. 2 years ago, it was new for me, and I really fell in love with it. And you can maybe see and understand why if you're seeing all of this around. And look also at this one over here. Thank you, Natalie. Look how beautiful this one is. With the blue sky again, a little higher than most of the other ones around. So, okay, I'm just going to show you the last ones, and I'm going to say goodbye already to everyone who joined. And thank you for joining. Thank you for the support, all the nice words, all the tips. I don't cannot see that. That's sadly enough. I cannot see that with YouTube, but I'm already grateful for everything that I heard. So, and that's and with some beautiful ball dahlias. I will be back later today in the city of Leiden. That is in 3 hours from now. So that will a little more be historical, but Leiden by night because it will be dark by that time. And if you need some nice tours in between, I know that in about 10 minutes from now, my colleague Anna Levina, now living in Israel, but she's going to do a tour about St. Petersburg. So, and I think that's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Sadly enough, she cannot live there anymore, but she prepared a tour about how beautiful the city is. So, a not to miss tour. Really beautiful. Oh wow! You can also see that some of the stems are, the flowers are removed because of that. But no, thank you again for joining. I'm just gonna show you my face to end this tour. So I'm just gonna do this again. Um, no, thank you again for joining. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful garden, this wonderful show garden called the Tulperij in Noordwijk. And I hope to see you again, maybe later today, and otherwise in another tour, another moment. And I'm gonna show you some last shots while the sun is going down. And thank you for joining today. Now I should have brought my music that I don't have with me. When the sun is going down in between the dahlia fields, dancing around them. Sorry, I didn't dance a lot, but it's beautiful to see. Thank you again for joining. See you another time.